March 29th. Today's Bible reading is Deuteronomy chapter 11 from verses 1 to the end, Deuteronomy chapter 12 from verses 1 to 32, Luke chapter 8 from verses 22 to 40, Psalm 70 from verses 1 to 5, Proverbs chapter 12 verses 4. Reading Deuteronomy chapter 11 from verses 1 to the end. Verse 1, Therefore thou shalt love the Lord thy God, and keep his charge, and his statutes, and his judgments, and his commandments alway. Verse 2, And know ye this day, for I speak not with your children which have not known, and which have not seen the chastisement of the Lord your God, his greatness, his mighty hand, and his stretched out arm. Verse 3, And his miracles, and his acts, which he did in the midst of Egypt, unto Pharaoh the king of Egypt, and unto all his land. Verse 4, And what he did unto the army of Egypt, unto their horses, and to their chariots, how he made the water of the Red Sea to overflow them as they pursued after you, and how the Lord hath destroyed them unto this day. Verse 5, And what he did unto you in the wilderness, until ye came into this place. Verse 6, And what he did unto Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, the son of Reuben, how the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed them up, and their households and their tents, and all the substance that was in their possession, in the midst of all Israel. Verse 7, But your eyes have seen all the great acts of the Lord which he did. Verse 8, Therefore shall ye keep all the commandments which I command you this day, that ye may be strong, and go in and possess the land, whither ye go to possess it. Verse 9, And that ye may prolong your days in the land, which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give unto them and to their seed, a land that floweth with milk and honey. Verse 10, For the land whither thou goest in to possess it is not as the land of Egypt, from whence ye came out, where thou sowedst thy seed and wateredst it with thy foot, as a garden of herbs. Verse 11, But the land whither ye go to possess it is a land of hills and valleys, and drinketh water of the rain of heaven. Verse 12, A land which the Lord thy God careth for. The eyes of the Lord thy God are always upon it, from the beginning of the year even unto the end of the year. Verse 13, And it shall come to pass, if ye shall hearken diligently unto my commandments which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. Verse 14, That I will give you the rain of your land in his due season, the first rain and the latter rain, that thou mayest gather thy corn and thy wine and thine oil. Verse 15, And I will send grass in thy fields to thy cattle, that thou mayest eat and be full. Verse 16, Take heed to yourselves, that your heart be not deceived, and ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them. Verse 17, And then the Lord's wrath be kindled against you, and he shut up the heaven, that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, unless ye perish quickly from off the good land which the Lord giveth you. Verse 18, Therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. Verse 19, And ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Verse 20, And thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thine house, and upon thy gates. Verse 21, That your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children, in the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth. Verse 22, For if ye shall diligently keep all these commandments which I command you, to do them, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave unto him. Verse 23, Then will the Lord drive out all these nations from before you, and ye shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourselves. Verse 24, Every place whereon the soles of your feet shall tread shall be yours. From the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even unto the uttermost sea shall your coast be. Verse 25, There shall no man be able to stand before you. For the Lord your God shall lay the fear of you and the dread of you upon all the land that ye shall tread upon, as he has said unto you. Verse 26, Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. Verse 27, A blessing, if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day. Verse 28, And a curse, if ye will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day, to go after other gods, which ye have not known. Verse 29. And it shall come to pass, when the Lord thy God hath brought thee in unto the land whither thou goest to possess it, that thou shalt put the blessing upon Mount Gerizim, and the curse upon Mount Ebal. Verse 30. Are they not on the other side Jordan, by the way where the sun goeth down, in the land of the Canaanites, which dwell in the champaign over against Gilgal, beside the plains of Moor? Verse 31. For ye shall pass over Jordan to go and to possess the land which the Lord your God giveth you, and ye shall possess it and dwell therein. Verse 32. And ye shall observe to do all the statutes and judgments which I set before you this day. Deuteronomy chapter 12 from verses 1 to 32. Verse 1. These are the statutes and judgments which ye shall observe to do in the land which the Lord God of thy fathers giveth thee to possess it, all the days that ye live upon the earth. Verse 2. Ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their gods, upon the high mountains and upon hills, and under every green tree. Verse 3. And ye shall overthrow their altars, and break their pillars, and burn their groves with fire. And ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods, and destroy the names of them out of that place. Verse 4. Ye shall not do so unto the Lord your God. Verse 5. But unto the place which the Lord your God shall choose out of all your tribes put his name there, even unto his habitation shall ye seek, and thither thou shalt come. Verse 6. And thither ye shall bring your burnt offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithes, and heave offerings of your hand, and your vows, and your free will offerings, and the firstlings of your herds and of your flocks. Verse 7. And there ye shall eat before the Lord your God, and ye shall rejoice in all that ye put your hand unto, ye and your households, wherein the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. Verse 8. Ye shall not do after all the things that we do here this day, every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. Verse 9. For ye are not as yet come to the rest, and to the inheritance, which the Lord your God giveth you. Verse 10. But when ye go over Jordan, and dwell in the land which the Lord your God giveth you to inherit, and when he giveth you rest from all your enemies round about, so that ye dwell in safety. Verse 11. Then there shall be a place which the Lord your God shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. Thither shall ye bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings, and your sacrifices, your tithes, and the heave offering of your hand, and all your choice vows which ye vow unto the Lord. Verse 12. And ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God, ye and your sons and your daughters, and your men servants, and your maidservants, and the Levite that is within your gates, forasmuch as he hath no part nor inheritance with you. Verse 13. Take heed to thyself that thou offer not thy burnt offerings in every place that thou sayest. Verse 14. But in the place which the Lord shall choose in one of thy tribes, there thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, and there thou shalt do all that I command thee. Verse 15. Notwithstanding thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God which he hath given thee. The unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck, and as of the hart. Verse 16. Only ye shall not eat the blood. Ye shall pour it upon the earth as water. Verse 17. Thou mayest not eat within thy gates the tithe of thy corn, or thy wine, or thy oil, or the firstlings of thy herds, or thy flock, nor any of thy vows which thou vowest, nor thy freewill offerings, or heave offering of thine hand. Verse 18. But thou must eat them before the Lord thy God in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and the Levite that is within thy gates. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God in all that thou puttest thine hands unto. Verse 19. Take heed to thyself that thou forsake not the Levite, as long as thou livest upon the earth. Verse 20. When the Lord thy God shall enlarge thy border, as he hath promised thee, and thou shalt say, I will eat flesh, because thy soul longeth to eat flesh, thou mayest eat flesh whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. Verse 21. If the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to put his name there be too far from thee, then thou shalt kill thy herd and thy flock, which the Lord hath given thee, as I commanded thee, and thou shalt eat in thy gates whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. Verse 22. Even as the roebuck and the hart is eaten, so thou shalt eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat of them alike. Verse 23. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. Verse 24. Thou shalt not eat it. thou shalt pour it upon the earth as water. Verse 25, thou shalt not eat it, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of the Lord. Verse 26, only thy holy things which thou hast, and thy vows thou shalt take, and go unto the place which the Lord shall choose. Verse 27, and thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, the flesh and the blood, upon the altar of the Lord thy God. And the blood of thy sacrifices shall be poured out upon the altar of the Lord thy God, and thou shalt eat the flesh. Verse 28, observe and hear all these words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee, and with thy children after thee forever, when thou doest that which is good and right in the sight of the Lord thy God. Verse 29, when the Lord thy God shall cut off the nations from before thee, whither thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them and dwellest in their land. Verse 30, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. Verse 31, thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God, for every abomination to the Lord which he hath they done unto their gods, for even their sons and their daughters they have burned in the fire to their gods. Verse 32, what things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. Luke chapter 8 from verses 22 to 40. Verse 22, now it came to pass on a certain day, that he went into a ship with his disciples. And he said unto them, let us go over unto the other side of the lake. And they launched forth. Verse 23, but as they sailed, he fell asleep. And there came down a storm of wind on the lake, and they were filled with water and were in jeopardy. Verse 24, and they came to him and awoke him, saying, Master, Master, we perish. Then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm. Verse 25, and he said unto them, where is your faith? And they being afraid wondered, saying one to another, what manner of man is this? For he commandeth even the winds and water, and they obey him. Verse 26, and they arrived at the country of the Gadarenes, which is over against Galilee. Verse 27, and when he went forth to land, there met him out of the city a certain man, which had devils long time, and wore no clothes, neither abode in any house, but in the tombs. Verse 28, when he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, what have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God Most High? I beseech thee, torment me not. Verse 29, for he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man, for oftentimes it had caught him, and he was kept bound with chains and in fetters, and he brake the bands, and was driven of the devil into the wilderness. Verse 30, and Jesus asked him, saying, what is thy name? And he said, Legion, because many devils were entered into him. Verse 31, and they besought him that he would not command them to go out into the deep. Verse 32, and there was there an herd of many swine feeding on the mountain, and they besought him that he would suffer them to enter into them, and he suffered them. Verse 33, then went the devils out of the man, and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the lake, and were choked. Verse 34, when they that fed them saw what was done, they fled, and went and told in the city and in the country. Verse 35, then they went out to see what was done, and came to Jesus, and found the man out of whom the devils were departed, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in his right mind. And they were afraid. Verse 36, they also which saw it told them by what means he that was possessed of the devils was healed. Verse 37, then the whole multitude of the country of the Gadarenes round about besought him to depart from them, for they were taken with great fear. And he went up into the ship and returned back again. Verse 38, now the man out of whom the devils were departed besought him that he might be with him. But Jesus sent him away, saying, verse 39, return to thine own house, and shew how great things God hath done unto thee. And he went his way, and published throughout the whole city how great things Jesus had done unto him. Verse 40, and it came to pass that, when Jesus was returned, the people gladly received him, for they were all waiting for him. Psalm 70 from verses 1 to 5. Verse 1, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, to bring to remembrance. Make haste, O God, to deliver me. Make haste to help me, O Lord. Verse 2, let them be ashamed and confounded that seek after my soul. Let them be turned backward and put to confusion that desire my hurt. Verse 3, let them be turned back for a reward of their shame that say, Aha, ah. Verse 4, let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. And let such as love thy salvation say continually, let God be magnified. Verse 5, but I am poor and needy. Make haste unto me, O God. Thou art my help and my deliverer. O Lord, make no tarrying. Proverbs chapter 12, verses 4. Verse 4, a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that mocketh the shamed is as rottenness in his bones. Meditate on what you have heard and pray that it takes root in your heart and life, that you will do according to all that is written in God's word. Amen. Let's keep walking in the word together. Please like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you're here for the next study.